Okay, so today we're going to be showing you something that's actually designed for winter time. That's coming up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here today. It's actually one of the last days of September. We're right at the end of September, so we're in fall, and you know what? It's still really hot here. You know, we reached about 100 degrees today, but it's supposed to be cooling off next week. We're super excited about that, and we wanted to share something with you that kind of reminds us of winter, and that is our winter banana tree. That's actually what's next to me here. So we got this tree, about a year and a half ago. In fact, we got it from the Urban Farm Fruit Tree Program. So Greg, thank you again for another tree. A little on the small side, but it's actually doing pretty good. Greg's trees, as far as apple trees, come in January. So we planted this in January of last year. So again, about a year and a half old. Now, normally we wouldn't have any fruit on a tree that's this young. However, we do have fruit on this tree. We actually were able to kind of salvage a couple of apples off of this tree, and we wanted to share that with you today. So we'll talk a little bit more about the winter banana. So winter banana is an apple. It's an apple variety. It's a fall fruiting variety. Now this sets fruit about the same time as our spring fruiting varieties do. However, it actually isn't ripe until fall. So we're in fall now, and we actually weren't too sure because we've never had one before. We weren't too sure when they would be ripe. However, we're starting to lose a couple of the apples off the tree. So what we want to do today was take our first harvest off of this tree, not really anticipating much, but we want to go ahead and see what they taste like. So Flory wants to squeeze in here just a little bit more. So the apples themselves, because they set about a month later than the spring apples, because they set a little bit late, these apples have to survive our hot summers. And we have noticed that they do struggle with that. Now, one of the other apple varieties that we haven't shared with you yet, and that's mainly because we didn't get any fruit this year, was our Pink Lady. And we actually have a Pink Lady fruit tree or apple tree that has produced for us and actually produced fantastic fruit. Only a couple, but it did produce. So we do have some fall apple trees or apple varieties that have produced, but we've noticed that the apples themselves are very, very small. And I'm assuming that's because of the hot summers that we have here. It doesn't allow the fruit to develop completely. So we're noticing the same thing with this winter banana. So I have Lori squeeze in a little bit closer. We've got our fruit right here. So what we do is we do cover them with organza bags, and I'll link one of our videos that shows how we use our organza bags, but it came right off, so this is obviously ripe. And there's an apple. So now, not much to look at. As far as the palm of my hand, you can see how small this apple is. It's tiny. So a really, really small apple. But what I want to do is I want to see what it tastes like. Because, you know, I've heard stories that fall apples just don't work here. And as small as this apple is on such a young tree, I'm not expecting much. But let's give it a shot. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was horrible. The apple itself is just as dry as can be. You know what? I'm really wondering about fall apples at this point. Man, that tastes like apple flour would be the best. And I'm not talking about, you know, the flowers that are beautiful and bloom. I'm talking about the stuff you bake with. That tastes like apple flour. Goodness gracious. Okay, that was bad. You know, I'll tell you what, you know, one of the things that Lori and I always promised ourselves, and we promise you guys out there, when something's not good, it's not good, and we're going to say it. Man, this is gross. That's one of the worst things I've tasted, I'll be honest. Okay, so winter banana. So what I understand with these winter bananas, the reason why the name comes about is that when you store these over the winter time, because it is a fall apple, they give off a banana kind of flavor or smell, but I don't know that we're ever going to get that far. Goodness gracious, I'm hoping that it's just the young tree, so not really producing an apple that is viable. I'm hoping that's the case with this particular apple, but not the best I've had. But hey, you know what? Winter banana apple tree, it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful little tree, so it's really a cool looking tree. We've got it back here in our newest orchard, which includes a lot of fruit trees from Greg that we planted bare root about a year and a half. Beautiful tree. Really hoping that in the next couple of years, whoever winds up having these apples gets a little better experience than I just had. But wanted to bring this to you today. All right, so just want to thank you guys for joining us today. You know, it didn't exactly turn out the way we were expecting, but we're going to bring you guys exactly what happens here on the farm. This is a good example of one that maybe not so good, but we still wanted to share it with you. And hey, you know what? If you haven't done so already, hey, subscribe to our channel. You know, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. You know, if you haven't seen our 100th episode, I'm going to link that for you here. You know, we got a lot of big changes coming to the channel. We'd really love it if you would join us today, and you can do that by subscribing to the channel. And hey, if you have any questions or comments, hey, leave them in the comment section down below. One of the things that Lori and I really enjoy doing with you guys is interacting with you, and this YouTube format really gives us a fantastic opportunity to do that, and we would love to do that with you. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. All right, so today we're touring. Oh, that's not a good start. Let's try that again. It didn't work out as much as as well as we want. I'm going to start over. And I'm mumbling. Good? All right.